Welcome to Extra Butter. It is the best Terminator movie ever. Unless you consider Terminator 2, then it's a tie. Terminator Dark Fate, Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger back together again. Speaking of back together again, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Marty Scorsese, because we're tight like that. The Irishman hits the big screens and small screens worldwide thanks to Netflix. And Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. When The Lion King heads to DVD, we got the stars and more. I'll come back and pay for this stuff later. Hey, yeah, this is the movie show where we talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. It's me and a couple of my friends. First of all, world-famous travel blogger, it's Kelly Savannah Deaton, and a guy who's on his way to Paris and London for a big comedy tour, Steph Sanders, everybody. With me, popcorn for everybody, beverage.
This is not what I ordered. I want to talk to your manager.
All right, first and foremost, headed to Europe. Where are we going to find you in the next few weeks?
Me and Mickey will be in London and Paris the next 2 weeks. I'm so excited, doing 2 shows, one in London, one in Paris. Yes, sir.
And for the people watching international on AFN, where do we find you online?
I am Steph Sanders on everything. I am Steph Sanders, S-T-E-P-H Sanders. Grown man head, 12-year-old body, you know it's me.
Okay.
Also, you're likely to be in Europe during that time. Where do we find you online?
Kelly Savannah Deaton, and in 2 weeks we're going to Bali, wedding planning. You know I got engaged like a year ago.
Oh my God.
Hard
You're
to
supposed
remember.
to plan a wedding all this time. Yeah, who knows?
Sam Jackson made it happen. Google it, you'll find it. In the meantime, I'm at TV Marcus Allen. Let's jump right into it. Maleficent crushing it at the box office with its sequel.
Yeah.
Why
number
is
two.
that?
Number 2 guards usually don't do well except in basketball, but this was a great sequel. Number 2, great sequel, because the story, the plot of it was like not too kiddish, not too adult. Everybody can understand, sweet spot, and acting phenomenal.
Who do you think's stronger, Angelina Jolie or Elle Fanning in this? Or Michelle Pfeiffer?
I think Elle and Angelina are the best when they're together. Those scenes are the most dynamic. And I mean, it's Angelina Jolie, people, as a villain, as the most epic villain.
Michelle's fine. She just doesn't do a lot of heavy lifting.
She's very, like you say, Costco vanilla ice cream.
Same in my
Wow.
interview. Take a look.
Okay.
So, have you ever embarrassed your kids, or have your parents ever embarrassed you? Anything like that?
Oh, I live to embarrass them.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. I think they have to get used to it. You have to keep that openness, because in a way, you're saying to the kids, when you grow up, be free, be silly.
Yeah.
You know, make mistakes in whatever way, but there's no kind of, you know, if we try to be perfect, all we're saying to them is that, you know, grow up to try to be just right. You know, instead, go crazy, wear horns, have fun.
How amazing are they? Powerhouse. All right, so to elaborate on what you're talking about, we brought in backup. Ladies and gentlemen, the star of New York City entertainment and worldwide, Damaris Diaz, everybody. New York. How born for this role is Angelina Jolie from Maleficent?
Oh my God, she kills every role that she gets, but this one, she took it to another level. She's just evil and beautiful at the same time. She's just amazing. There's like no way that I can describe how wonderful she is and do justice to her.
I love that you're enthusiastic about this, despite the fact that you and I both voted on the Joker. We both bet the Joker would win the weekend.
Oh my God, the Joker that blew my mind. I was so scared in the movie theater. You know, I'm so loud. I'm always like laughing or crying or yelling, and I was just like, ah! Mom, relax. It's a movie. I'm like, ah!
That's awesome.
That's a
All
great
right.
review.
I know you are a power lady and very busy. Where do we find you online?
You can find me on Instagram, Damaris Diaz TV. Hit me up, and I'll follow you back.
Damaris Diaz.
All right.
New York. You're awesome. Thank you.
Love her.
I love her.
She is always styling and profiling.
New York's finest.
That's
New York's
right.
finest.
Speaking of New York's finest, thank you, Mr. Segway Helper.
Oh,
You-
with the segue
That's what I do. That's what I do.
today.
You cannot have a movie or a plot line like The Irishman without New York City. Now, we could talk all day long about Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and Martin Scorsese reuniting.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. But is there any creative forces that could do it better in New York City than this group?
No.
You should hear Al Pacino on all the talk shows talk about this movie. This guy is alive like he hasn't been. We're talking like this guy's pushing 80.
Yeah.
But he's on fire. He's so good on the talk
Yes.
shows talking about this. Robert De Niro, on the other hand,
very-
as brilliant as he is, he doesn't like talking about
No.
anything. I do a horrible De Niro. You know who does a pretty good one?
Who?
De Niro.
De Niro.
We talk. Take a look.
Is there a scene that, like, you had high expectations, but it ultimately went even higher than that? Because whatever that lightning is, some magic or something you didn't see coming in the pages.
Well, I like to see the scenes I like are the one where Joe gives me the ring, where that whole sequence, the Frank Sheeran Day sequence, where I talk to Jimmy and try and reason with him about what's going to happen. He's got to tone it down. So that was fun. And any scene I did with Al was great. We had fun doing, and Joe, of course. There were two different types of things. The Joe character was what he was, and Jimmy was the opposite. And Pesci being sort of known for the kind of flamboyant, more crazy stuff that his other characters had done. This one, he was just flat down the way he should be.
Yeah, I love your scenes with him. This new dynamic, it's pretty amazing. I wonder about, I love the CG. I, for a moment, thought maybe we're going to be distracted by it. We're not. It works so well, the youthful moments. And it dawned on me that someone who has the catalog that you have, you probably can't turn on a TV for any length of time without seeing a younger version of you at some point. What's your reaction when you're flipping through and you see your work?
Well, I don't flip through. I just watch MSNBC and CNN now.
Okay, that's it. You're not popping up on there too much.
No, unless it's a comparison to Trump, his gangster antics, and some they connected to a Goodfellas or something.
Yeah, I was quick to say you don't pop up on CNN, but indeed you do.
Or SNL,
That guy is great. I
Very
knew, well, until you start talking politics. All of a sudden, the one subject I don't talk about, he comes alive on.
He comes alive.
At least you got that. That's good.
Politics
Good.
aside, put them aside, because I guarantee you this is the movie that's going to sweep the Academy Awards. It is the contender. All right, coming up in a moment, spinning gears in an entirely different way, one of the best action movies of all time is Terminator 2, and now it's got an equal, and that's Terminator Dark Fate. The stars with us next.
Get in the chopper.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Extra Butter, talking about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Thanks for liking and subscribing on YouTube.
Yes. Like,
and
subscribe.
shout out to the men and women watching on AFN worldwide in 160 different countries and territories worldwide.
Service.
Not a shout out. Let's give a
shout out.
thank you for what you do.
And if you're in London or Paris next week, be sure and check out the comedy stylings of Steph Sanders. All right.
Come see me.
And check you out wherever you are. All right. So I am so geeked out about this movie. I love Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. It finally has an equal in this movie, Terminator Dark Fate, and Arnold is back.
Arnold is back. T-800 is back.
That's right.
I got to say to Mark, I've seen you introduce this guy at movie premieres, and you seem kind of awkward around him. Like,
there was a
not
weird
very
time.
comfortable.
All right, let me explain what's going on.
Okay.
You look, there was a time back in the day where I would introduce him at movie premieres when he was the governor. He liked to celebrate movies made in California.
The governor, the state of California, ladies and gentlemen, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I was so scared of being out of my element that I would like shake his hand and dive off the stage. When you see Arnold, he is very much Arnold. It's almost like he's doing an impression of himself, but you realize, no, that's him.
Yeah.
I sat down with him many awkward times before he became governor, including talking about this franchise. Take a look.
So I love the movie, and I tell you I love the movie, yet still you do this to me.
I know. Well, it was just because you asked a funny question, so I had no choice. I had to kind of rough handle you a little bit.
I don't know about that. What's really going on with your face there?
Sometimes in these junkets, the studios give you the opportunity for an immersive experience. So they sent me to the makeup artist that did his makeup for it, which sounds cool until you're sitting down with the guy and it just feels like you're mocking him.
And not very good either.
You didn't do an impression of him to him, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did. Wait, you know who does do an impression? I did an Arnold impression to his co-star in this movie, Diego Luna, who does an amazing job. And we talked about the first time we met Arnold.
First thing Arnold Schwarzenegger ever said to me was, "You left trash." I introduced him at a podium one time and left some trash. What's the first thing he said to you?
Look at him. Look at his biceps. He's ripped. Look at this guy. No monkey business.
Coming from that guy, that's like a term of endearment. It's amazing.
My mind is incredible.
You judge a Terminator movie by how good the evil Terminator is. He's a great evil Terminator.
You wouldn't normally think that would be a good casting call, but you know what's always a good casting call?
What's that?
Linda Hamilton.
Oh my God.
Yo, Linda.
Standing ovation. Linda. Yeah, she did such a good job.
When the trailer dropped and she gets out of the car, you're shocked that that's her because she beefed up
She
for
did,
this
she
role.
did.
She wanted to make sure that this was memorable, that she was right on par on how she used to
Yeah.
be, and you can't even tell. Like,
Yeah.
she looks incredible.
Looks
Her
like she been doing
acting's
MMA.
Yeah, she does.
Definitely.
She said that was the first thing
Yeah.
she told Arnold. She met up with Arnold
Yeah,
and said,
yeah.
look, and she said she ripped her shirt off. She had a biking shirt
Sure.
underneath. But she said, look what I did, are you proud of me? And like turned in a circle. I mean, it's
Wow.
Arnold. And now look at her. She's a perfect
No
match
kidding.
for him.
And you know, when she was making Terminator 2, she had a little bit extra edge on the other actors because she was dating James Cameron, the director, and later married him. And she said, I'll only
that's
come back.
right. I
I'll
forgot.
only do this movie if you write the role the way I say it. He said, yes, dear.
Yeah.
And that was for her to be a little bit crazy and a lot powerful. And we talked about that. Take a look. Think about how many action movie heroines have based their performance, or at least gotten strength from the performance that you laid down with this. And what they probably don't realize is that Sarah, the way we see her in T2, you shaped that. You said, I'm only coming back if she's stronger
True.
and a bit crazy.
Big crazy, because she's living with the only person living with the knowledge of what's coming.
Right.
And the desire to prepare her son has eclipsed everything. She's not a really good mother. She's getting her son ready for his future, but nurturing? Mm-mm. You know, I mean,
She's got a lot going on.
There are a lot of flaws in this character, so I've never really seen her as a hero.
How awesome is that lady?
She definitely sets the platform for all the ladies.
Now, if you were to find an heir apparent to the way she was in Terminator 2, wouldn't you say Mackenzie is that person?
Yep. What role to fill, what shoes to fill. She definitely does it perfectly.
She looks like she could snap anyone or anybody, male or female, or anywhere in between, like
Yeah.
a twig.
She could just flick you,
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like, and you died.
You gotta love all Terminators when you're talking to these two. Take a look.
How exciting is it to find out that you get to be a part of one of the most amazing franchises ever known to action sci-fi?
It's amazing, and to be a part of it with Linda coming back, I think it's such a big deal for her to bring this character back after 30 years and to revisit this story that feels really new 30 years later. I don't know. I feel so interested in what Sarah Connor's been doing. So to be a part of that storyline was really exciting.
They are awesome. Think about it. Maleficent 2, awesome lady trio
Yes.
power.
Girls rule the world. Yeah.
Terminator, Dark
Yep.
Fate, awesome trio lady power.
Yep, keep it coming, people. Keep it coming.
Look, the three of us, awesome trio
Lady
lady
power.
power.
Yes.
All right, sister.
My estrogen is high.
All right, keep it going. All right, despite her not liking the previous Terminators, Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies
Yeah,
of all
mine
time,
too.
and it has found its equal this movie. I say go see it on the biggest screen
Yes.
possible. I highly recommend IMAX.
Yes, IMAX
Yes.
for sure. A clarification, I just didn't like the last Terminator. I like number 1, number 2, and this one. So,
All right, so you recommend it as well?
I recommend it.
All right, you guys. Coming up next, Edward Norton.
Director.
Edward Norton,
Producer.
Edward Norton,
Writer.
All right, Edward Norton joins us next on this Extra Butter. Don't move. Hey, knock it off. We're back on. Welcome back. It's Extra Butter. Thanks for hanging out with us. Time to talk about a movie that might come and go without you seeing it. Now, look, I'll go ahead and tell you the mob movie you need to see is, of course,
The Irishman.
The Irishman. However,
Yes,
there's
yes,
another
yes.
one called Motherless Brooklyn. I'm not going to say it's equal, but it definitely is worth seeing.
Yeah, okay, Edward Norton. Let's talk about him. Writer, director, producer, lead
star,
actor.
right?
He's been trying to make this movie for 20 years,
Yeah.
you guys. He was trying to make this movie while him and Courtney Love, remember Courtney Love, were
Yeah.
engaged. That's how long ago he's been
Wow.
wanting to make this movie, you guys.
Wow,
So
that's
for
not on the
any,
relevant trivia.
I know, for any other reason, go see it to support
All right.
Edward Norton.
But he's a fantastic actor.
Yes.
And I love everything he plays. And to play somebody with Tourette's, the way he does it, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
he doesn't
know-
make a caricature out of it. Now,
Yes,
you led
yes.
into the fact that he's wearing so many hats on this. So if you were to sit down or stand up to talk to him, what would you mention? All of that, right?
Probably, yeah.
So we had Julian on the red carpet for this movie.
Get on somebody's red carpet.
Julian is like, you know how these people have police scanners and they just wait to find crime? Julian's one of these guys that has like a red carpet scanner. So he's there. So he's on the red carpet. He asked that, and essentially Edward Norton goes, no, it's not like that. But then it ended up answering it exactly like that. Take a look.
So you had kind of a me, myself, and I moment, producing, written, directed, acting. Who are you turning to for suggestions?
Oh, I had, you know, when you direct a film, you're really like, you're marshaling other people's talents. I had some of the most brilliant crew and cast all around me, and they they make it look like you are even more talented than you are. You know, I had one of the great cinematographers in the business, and a cast of actors that I've known and worked with for many, many years.
And so if you had to rank yourself from actor, producer, rank yourself in all those positions, where would you do?
It's not like that. It's an integrated set of jobs. You're telling a story, you know. It's not really chopped up that way.
I'm thankful for Julian because Edward Norton's a tough interview. I'm glad he got it.
Yeah, he looks very, like he doesn't give you, who's worse, Robert De Niro or Edward Norton to interview?
I'm going to say Edward Norton because I respect Robert more. Just saying. I would say, ironically, The Irishman is produced by Netflix, but I'm saying go see this on the big screen. Yeah. Motherless Brooklyn, wait until you can rent it. That's what I'm saying. Another smart movie that you should probably go see in theaters, but you enjoy it no matter which way you can get it. Jojo Rabbit.
Okay. Talk about another movie that had a lot of time and pressure, and it was hard to get this made because it's a Nazi satire. They're making fun of Nazis and the culture and the...
Not since Hogan's Heroes have they gone to this
The fact that they're making Nazis funny?
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy with that, but you have to go see this because this movie surprised me in I can't even put it into words. You have to go see it, and it'll blow you away because it has so much heart. I haven't laughed that hard, and I never thought I'd be laughing at Hitler in my life.
I always say that I don't have a right to judge it on the sensitivity platform, so I went with some Jewish friends, and I said, what do you think? And this was at the Toronto Film Festival, came out with glowing reviews on it. Though we say it's making Nazis funny, maybe in the way Inglourious Bastards does sometimes. It's not waka waka, it's just satirical. And I love your chat with Scarlett Johansson about it. Take a look.
And if you each could have an imaginary friend, it could be anybody, an imaginary confidant, just like Adolf was to Jojo, who would you pick to be by your side every day?
I think it would be like Winnie the Pooh or something.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
good.
Or like Piglet, or just like a little friend I could hug.
Then you can just pick him up and carry him around.
Yeah.
That's cute. What about you two?
I've had a really scary person, like a proper, it'd be like a really scary big dude. So like every time I'm annoyed, I'd be like, well, I've got this guy.
Oh, you'd have like a bat. You'd bring muscle.
Yeah, have like a bodyguard.
Good thinking. And what about you, Scarlett?
Oh my gosh.
Anybody.
It could be anybody.
Anybody you want.
I'd probably take Sam Jackson around with me everywhere.
He's awesome.
He's my bud. So I've been missing him lately. So I'd probably take him around with me.
Don't let this movie escape you. See it any platform you can get it on. Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, you have to see it.
Let's continue this show. Its theme is awkward actors that we love to see on the big screen, but they're tough to talk to. Robert De Niro got him out of the way. Edward Norton got him out of the way. Now let's talk about Michael Shannon.
Oh.
His new movie is called The Current War, and it's all about how what came to be.
The current war, Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse are two men that I had no idea were fighting over who was going to light up the World's Fair. World's Fair. No one knew about this. So it is interesting. It's a period piece without feeling stuffy. But Michael Shannon,
you said
Mark warned me that it would be he won't give you a lot. And I was like, no, he said that before. Sam Jackson was fine. This person was fine. No, Michael Shannon was like, take a look.
With one eye, watch the paint dry. With the other one, watch this interview. Take a look.
And how was it becoming this character and wearing those costumes and the whole facial, just everything about it? You looked very dapper, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Very dapper.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much more dignified, I guess, people used to be. I don't know. It's funny because I don't think he was a real clothes hound, Westinghouse, but just back then, everybody, I don't know, you didn't go out of the house unless you were done up a certain way, really.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? You did a great job with that.
Thank you.
Michael Shannon, don't get me wrong, he's a brilliant actor. Brilliant. He's playing Zod in Superman or whatever.
Yeah, but he's very...
All right, coming up next, Hakuna Matata.
What a wonderful...
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
You can't just keep repeating it. They're actual lyrics. We'll get to the stars for that coming up next. Hey, welcome back. I'm about to wind things down for Extra Butter, but something monumental is hitting home video, and it's a treat, and it's one of those times where I say, don't rent it. You're a knucklehead if you don't buy it. I'm talking about The Lion King. And don't say The Lion King live action, or she'll scold you.
I will. Well, because I keep saying that, too. Have you seen the live action? It's not live action, people. It's animated, which is so mind-boggling, because you're watching this film, and you look like it looks like a documentary almost, but it's It's just, it'll blow your mind.
The reason you know so much, you sat down with the guy who did what?
Yeah, Rob Legato, the VFX guy. So the guy who makes all the magic within the Disney movie. Take a look. And did you find it a tad bit intimidating, seeing as the first Lion King is so iconic and so beloved? I mean, the first Lion King is basically my childhood. So did you find that a little bit intimidating?
Well, it's intimidating that you have to kind of put out of your head because there's no way to equate them. It's like saying, well, you know, were you intimidated in the Broadway play from the original? And you probably would be, so you have to say, well, it's a different medium, and I have to attack it in that particular way. So, but there's always the reminder of, well, does that live up to the old one? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it a sideways move? What is it exactly? And you have to say, well, forget that. We're just trying to make an entertaining movie from this source material and do all that. You know, the critics will say whatever they're going to say about it, no matter what. Everybody's going to have an opinion. It was too similar, not similar enough, and so you can't even sort of even get from them what the consensus would be. So you have to just use your own judgment.
He's awesome. Now, when Disney called and said, hey, we want you to interview or Lion King, were you hoping it was going to be Beyonce?
Yeah, it's like, what time will Beyonce be there? Donald
Or Childish
Glover?
Where's Childish Gambino? Where is
I
it?
mean, Seth Rogen,
Where's
Billy
Seth
Eichner.
Rogen? If anybody's going to teach you how to sing Hakuna Matata, it's probably Seth and Billy. I got a chance to sit down with the new Timon and Pumbaa.
What does it mean when you get the call that you're going to be this?
It's still massively
it's crazy.
meaningful,
Even looking at the poster and seeing my name on it is completely insane. You know, it's
No,
the Lion
it's true.
King.
Yeah, like I honestly thought I was on a list of people Disney would never work with.
I knew that I was.
Yeah, exactly.
They still may be considering it.
There's still time, but no, it's truly flattering. Yeah, like it's amazing that we haven't alienated ourselves.
I love those guys, and I love this movie so much. Now, keep in mind, like, I was relatively youthful when the first one came out. I love the 2D Lion King, but this one is glorious. We'll see you in London and Paris. Where do we find you online?
I am Steph Sanders on everywhere. I am Steph Sanders.
Hey, stalkers, find Kelly at
Kelly Savannah Deaton.
Lip gloss pop.
Complainers and my parole officer still at TV. Have yourself an awesome time at the movies. See ya.
Bye.